Box office: Incredibles 2 shatters records with heroic $180 million opening. Incredibles 2 opening weekend was, well, incredible. Disney and Pixar's Incredibles 2 flew to a record-breaking opening weekend of $180 million in 4,410 locations, easily landing the superhero sequel the best debut of all time for an animated film. That title was previously held by fellow Pixar sequel Finding Dory, which launched with $135 million in 2016. Incredibles 2 also landed the 8th biggest opening of all time, and surpassed 2017's Beauty and the Beast, $174.6 million, for the best debut for a PG-rated film. With 14 years since the original film, 2004's The Incredibles, enthusiasm has been strong for the follow-up. And it seems that audiences and critics alike were not disappointed. The film boasts a coveted A+ cinema score, as well as a 94% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Incredibles 2 picks up directly following the events of the original film, with the Parr family members attempting to balance having a normal life with their superpowers. Holly Hunter, Craig T. Nelson, and Samuel L. Jackson reprise their voice roles, while Bob Odenkirk, Catherine Keener, and Sophia Bush voice new characters. Brad Bird returned to write and direct the sequel. Related theaters to add strobe light warning to N number 039 Incredibles 2 and number 039, after viral Twitter thread box office, N number 039 Incredibles 2 and number 039, headed for $180 million plus debut. Incredibles 2 should set Disney back on track after Solo, a Star Wars story, disappointed earlier this summer. The expensive Star Wars film has had difficulty gaining traction at the box office since launching with $103 million over a 4-day weekend. Though each Disney-released Star Wars adventure has managed to fly past the $1 billion mark, Solo is struggling to cross $400 million. Disney doesn't exactly need to break a sweat, however. Incredibles 2 scored the third biggest opening of 2018, meaning the 3 best debuts of 2018 all belong to the Magic Kingdom. Disney and Marvel titles Black Panther, $257.7 million, and Avengers: Infinity War, $202 million, secured the number 1 and 2 spots. Also opening this weekend was Warner Bros. And New Line's Tag, which targeted a debut of $14.6 million in 3,382 theaters. The R-rated comedy, starring Ed Helms, Jake Johnson, Jon Hamm, and Jeremy Renner, is based on a Wall Street Journal profile about a group of grown men who play a long-standing game of tag. Though the film was aimed at male moviegoers, the audience breakdown was surprisingly 51% female. 78% of audiences were over 25 years old, while 58% were under 35. Moviegoers seem satisfied, giving the film a B+ cinema score and 74% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. New Line's latest title, Game Night, opened earlier this year with $17 million, a solid start given the film's $16 million price tag. As of this week, the Jason Bateman, Rachel McAdams dark comedy has pocketed $117 million globally, including $69 million domestically. The final wide release, Superfly, got a head start by opening on Wednesday. Sony's remake of 1972 blaxploitation classic Superfly pocketed $6.1 million in 2,220 locations during the 5-day period. Well-known music video Helmer Director X took the reins on the $16 million project, which only began production in January and finished in time for its June release. The film features all new songs written by rapper Future, who co-produced along with Joel Silver. Superfly stars Trevor Jackson, Jason Mitchell, Michael Kenneth Williams, Lex Scott Davis, and Jennifer Morrison. The original 1972 Superfly, starring Ron O'Neal and directed by Gordon Parks, was hugely profitable at the box office with a $30 million gross from a $500,000 budget. While the film became a cult hit, Its soundtrack, composed by R&B legend Curtis Mayfield, became even more popular and ultimately outgrossed Superfly's box office earnings. Ocean's 8 managed to steal the number 2 spot in its sophomore frame, picking up another $19.5 million in 4,145 locations. The female-fronted heist spin-off had a series best opening last weekend with $41.5 million. Its domestic tally currently sits at $79 million. In fourth is Solo, a Star Wars story with $9.3 million on 3,182 screens. In 4 weeks, the tentpole has made $193 million at the domestic box office. Rounding out the top 5 is another superhero sequel, Deadpool 2, which scored $8.6 million in its 5th outing.